Hi everyone, my name is Delaina Burns and I'm with you from Live with Prima today. And I want to share a little treasure box filled with photos that I created using a brand new CHA release line called Timeless Memories. And first I want to try to show you the little treasure box if I can get it in the screen. Y'all know I'm terrible at this. Every time I struggle with this. But you can see it's made with a really pretty box that I just picked up at Hobby Lobby. Just kind of a simple box. Hobby Lobby, Michael's. In fact, Walmart even had a few of these little boxes. This one is made with wood. Walmart had a few made in like board, like a cardboard style. So just grab one of those, and I'm terrible at showing you this on camera, but you can see the flowers that I've used. I've used some brandy flowers and some gorgeous pearls from Frank's new line, and I just kind of mixed it up a little bit. But I want to go ahead and make announcements before I forget. Adrienne Ford will be with y'all on Thursday night. I'll be at CHA by then. So again, Robbie is going to be moderating for her. Thanks again, Robbie. She's saving us on this one. So she'll be moderating for Adrienne. Adrienne's going to do a gorgeous page with some more gorgeous brand new CHA products. So y'all be sure and tune in 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday night for that. Art Venture is going on as we speak. I'm so jealous. I would love to be out there right now doing Art Venture. So they're, I'm sure, having a great time. We've probably got a lot of people absent today because they're all sitting in Art Venture. Maybe somebody in Art Venture tuned in and can actually see us, y'all. Everybody wave just in case. I wish I could read the chat to keep up. I'm going to start practicing that. Hopefully one day I will get that talent. So I'm going to go ahead and pan down, show you the new line, and then show you how I created this box. So y'all bear with me just 1 second. Those of you that get seasick, close your eyes. Move my camera just a little. Sorry about that. I'm going to raise you up a little bit because we're going to need to have a good view today with all this activity I got going on. I do apologize. Sorry for those of you that I'm making sick. And I still want to raise you just a little bit higher. Sorry about that. Y'all bear with me. We will get there. Okay, I think that might be good. I'm going to move the table back and around just a little bit. I'm going to move my lighting here to prevent the glare. I've got a little block here to knock off some of that glare. Okay, so here we have our box, and from this top view, let me slide a few of my wires around. Sorry about that. But from this top view here, you can kind of see the top of the box, and I just want to open it up and show you what's on the inside. It is a little accordion fold album, and you can see it just pulls out. And I've done my son's wedding day in here, and you can just do loads and loads of photos. You see, I just keep pulling, and the photos just keep coming. This would be beautiful on a coffee table, a gorgeous gift. And you can see when I get it all back in here, I still have plenty of room in my box. You see, it's only half full. So I've got plenty of room in my box to add even more photos. So it's just a great way to do an entire day's event, wedding, birth of a child, anniversary party, just any kind of a day, birthday party. Anything can go in this box for display. And then you've got all these beautiful flowers and medals and activity going on top of your box. So I'm going to lay this to the side here and go ahead and show you our beautiful new collection. This is Timeless Memories, and I've got the paper pad here. So and I've used out of this, I've done quite a bit of CHA work, and now this box and album, but I just want to kind of open it and show you the papers. You can see they can be filled with beautiful mixed media backgrounds. Already the mixed media, you can see I've been using this. This one's half and two already. But you can see, I believe you get 5 sheets of every paper in these pads. So you can see as I scroll through the back, is a kind of a solid color. It's a little distressed, but on the back of each you get a different color. You see there's kind of a pinky peachy color there, the sort of a milk chocolate, and then you get variations of shades of those colors mingled in with your paper as well. Um, use some of the sort of monochromatic for my project today, and I'm going to make them just a little bit different, but you can see as I scroll through here the papers just get kind of lighter and darker. This is a must-have for real in your stash because you can use these papers on their own. You can mix them with so many collections that you probably already own. It's just an absolute must-have. I need to move on. There's the paper pad. Let me grab the, hold on, find a nice place to put this so it doesn't fall on the floor. Let me grab a few of the embellishments. I know I moved my table just a little bit. Sorry y'all, me and the camera are not having a happy time today. Now as far as the embellishments go, this was my CHA box, so I got one of each package. So I will be making the new project just a little different, very similar, but you can see here are some of the flowers. Look at the really pretty little gold center. Can you see that gold center? I love these little flowers. They're a little sort of double layer with that little gold ball center. Leaves for this collection, and the leaves in all the different patterns. You see that? I love the stripe added to this for matching these papers. Just really enjoyed that. Dumping these out, but here are these flowers. See their little paper centers. Very, very, very pretty. And that, I guess that just must, I grab it every time. That must be my favorite pattern. But you've got the teals in here, sort of the teal blue color, more gold, and then kind of the khaki sort of color. And this coppery color is just really pretty. Love these little roses too. Really pretty little shaped rose. Perfect height for layering and tucking in. It's just the perfect little size rose. And it comes, of course, in all the patterns like the other flowers. This is another really, really cool pattern. It's kind of a script with a splatter on it. Really, really pretty. You're also going to get some butterflies with this collection. You see, they're the paper butterflies. I only have a few here. I've mingled in a few flowers in here, but you can see the butterflies here for this collection. Really pretty. I believe they come like 6 in a package. I've used a few, and anyway, whatever. More embellishments for this line. You can see their little trinkets that hang down. Little metal trinkets. Anyway, you can add a little letter to the inside. You get an alphabet here, a little sticky alphabet that goes with that. More metal embellishments. These are just so pretty. I've used one from right there in the center, it looks like, but you can see the metal embellishments here. More metal embellishments, and again, I've used some of these on my project. Made a mess of the packaging, so you can just kind of see how these are. The numbers to all of these, I'll give you as I'm working on them. If you want the numbers all together, you can look on the Live with Prima Facebook page, and all the numbers are there. Robbie will help as well. As I mention them, she will kind of repeat them for you. My chat's still kind of wonky, so more trinkets here, and you can see the different styles of trinkets here. Just a really cool addition that Prima's made as far as embellishments go. More metal. You can see just really pretty, loving the clock and the boot. More metal frames and a little medallion. And then more metal here. This absolutely is a collection that is a must-have for real. So these will mix and match, and all together they work gorgeous. But they'll mix and match with your other lines as well that you have, your other collections. So moving right on, we're going to go ahead and get on our project for today. This is the box that I picked up. This box was a little different from the box that I used. A little different color. So just any of these boxes. I like this treasure chest shape, how the dome kind of rolls over, and you can see our example is doing the same thing. And what I have done, ahead is remove the hardware. Just took a little screwdriver, just grabbed my little screwdriver, and there's just a few screws in each piece. Before I took the screws out, I took a photo of it with my telephone, with my iPhone, so that I could remember how it went back together. And the same thing on the back, I just removed the screws, and you can kind of see the screws there. I just removed the screws, but I took a photo first so that I would be sure and put it back together properly so that it still functioned right. So the first thing I'm going to do is start covering my box in paper, and I've actually got all my paper cut ahead so that we would be ready to go. And where have I put all of my paper? I have it in a very safe place because now I can't put my hands on it. Sorry about this. Bear with me just one moment. I have it somewhere. Also want to grab my flowers. I want to spray my flowers as well. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. I'm so excited about being prepared that I'm losing my preparedness. Okay, so what I've done is I've used in this paper pad just one of the kind of tone-on-tone papers. So if you can see, it really doesn't matter. I just found one that I thought kind of matched the box color itself. And I wish the light wasn't so bright. I feel like my lighting here is terrible. But what I'm going to do first is ink my edges. Just grab a little chalk edger. And with every one, you'll want to kind of ink your edges up. So, and you can see my poor little chalk edger's seen its better day, but I kind of like an older one that's not so juicy for a project like this, because I can kind of move on without having to let it dry, and I can kind of move in a little to give a little bit more distressy look on the corners if I like. And my chat is still wonky. I was going to try my best today to watch the chat. Robbie, feel free to text me if you need me. So what I'm going to do is just add a generous amount of glue. You don't want so much on the edge that it's going to seep out. If it does happen to seep, I'm using Fabri-Tac. It's going to dry clear, and you can just kind of wipe it away with your finger. So, and since it is Fabri-Tac, it's going to be a little stringy. So what I want to do is just kind of work it on there when you're doing this round dome. I just kind of slide it around for just a minute. And cutting this ahead was much easier. I measured the width first, just measured the width of the actual top of the box, and then once I got my width cut, I just sort of laid the entire length of 12 by 12 paper across the top, and then with a pencil just marked where it needed to be cut, so that, because it was a little harder. You could do it with a soft tape if you have a soft measuring tape to get that round dome. And you don't have to use the round dome style. I like this style for this project, but you could use a square box or just any box you have. Cigar box would work for this. This accordion album is just such a space saver, and it's just great for tons of photos. You can just choose mounds of photos. And I did choose this box because it's already kind of stained the color that I wanted it. If you find a box that's not painted or not stained for you, you can always paint it and stain it. And I know I'm rubbing this. I'm just making sure it's not going to come back off. Next, I'm going to do the sides and of the side dome area here. And what I did is just lay this down on top of the paper and drew around it. Yeah, I know the light has got so much glare. Let me see if I can. The daytime light gets me worse than the nighttime light, and I may not, because this is white, sort of kind of creamy. Yeah, it's not really direct light. I'm not sure. Let me see. Let's see if that helped at all. I don't know if it did. maybe. Yeah, I don't really have direct light. It's kind of behind me, but I have a little shield here. Let me see if that'll help. And it might not. Okay, is that better? I think that may be a little better. Okay, in fact, let me just try this real quick because I feel like we do have a lot of glare. Let me try this. Give me 1 second. Okay, how is that? Is that better? Maybe that'll work better. It's still, yeah, it's not, I don't think anything's helping much, but maybe that's a little bit better. Okay, you can kind of see more of the pattern on there. Okay, like I said, next we did the side area here, and I just literally laid it down on top of the 12 by 12 paper and drew around it with a pencil, and then just cut it out. And then you just want to be sure you ink your edges. Ink your edges up real good. Okay, thanks, Robbie. Y'all, Robbie is saving me today. Thank you so much, Robbie. Okay, ink our side, and then I'm moving my table back just a little bit, and go ahead and add some glue. And this is a pretty fast process to get the pieces on here. I liked for a little bit of that to show, so I wasn't worried if my paper wasn't an exact fit, just because I liked the stained area. Just didn't bother me that it didn't totally cover that. So have we figured out if anybody's peeking in from Art Venture? Hey Barbara, hey Nikki, hey Tracy. Look, I'm reading the chat only because I'm inking, and I know I'm not caught up. My chat's wonky. But yeah, me too, Barbara. The chat just keeps rolling up. I don't know what the deal is. Sometimes it does that. Okay, Fabri-Tac is the miracle glue, of course. Works with wood, works with metal, works with paper, works with fabric, works with pretty much everything. Okay, so you can see, and you could use a brayer on this. You could kind of roll across it with a brayer so that you didn't have like lumps in it if you're concerned about that. Just keep going back to your curved portion here and just make sure that it's tacked down really good. Since it is kind of round, it wants to sort of roll up a little bit. Okay, but you can see we've got our top and we've got our sides, just no big deal for that one. Now the bottom of our box, we have a couple of areas here. I'm going to start with these side areas because that's just one cut for these side areas. So just want to kind of ink this up. And I marked these on the back. I don't know if y'all can see my notes, but I have this marked side. Can't believe I lost them. I was so prepared, and then I go and lose them. Don't tell Carrie. Don't tell Carrie. We want Carrie to think this was just a flawless show. No problems. No issues. That wasn't a big issue. Just a tiny issue. It would have been a big issue had I not been able to find them. I would have just had to cut them again. And that's not fun cutting. But you can see, and I just cut these to size. I'm not really telling y'all what size these are because it's gonna differ from box to box, but you just kind of want to cut them to fit. And you can have, like I said, a little bit of it exposed if you have it painted like this, because it just adds to that sort of distressed, kind of antique-y feel to me. Next, these are a few layers. This sort of dents in here, and you've got this area here where your actual screws will go back in to add your hardware. So I've cut these little pieces separate. So I actually measured the inside here for this piece first, and I'm going to go ahead and ink both these because I have a piece like that on the front and a piece like that for the back. So I'll just go ahead and ink them while I'm going at the same time. So So we want to add some glue, and again I have these labeled front and back. The back was a little bit larger than the front, so this is our front piece, and you can see that just goes right in there. A little bit of glue. Better. I hope the lighting is better. It appears better to me, but I think maybe you see it a little bit different than I do. I'm going to move try to keep some of the white off camera if I can. Go ahead and glue the back, and maybe it'll get better once I start adding some of the embellishments. And what I love about this paper as well is it doesn't really matter what you're cutting here to put here. It all works. There's no definite pattern to this paper, so it's just kind of distressed and whatever. The next thing I did is cut little strips for this area here where we're going to actually reattach our screws and our little locked areas. And what I did, inked the edges first, and just a little trick so that I would know where my screws went. I just wanted to be real sure I got this box back together and functioning. I sort of laid it there, and with my little pointy scissors, I just kind of eyeballed. I kind of laid it where it went. I kind of eyeballed it as I lifted it and poked little holes right where these little screw holes are. And then I could, when I was on top of the paper, I could just feel under there actually where the holes are. So when I go to put my screws back in, I'll have a little mark. And it may not be perfect, but it'll get you started. And you can see I'm having to move around there just a minute. But it'll get you started in the area where your screws need to go back. So then you get it back just the way that it was. You want to add a little glue there. And you can do that with a pencil or a pen, or it was just easy to kind of stick through a paper pierce or something like that. It just made it really easy to kind of poke that through and mark just those little holes. And you can't really see them on camera, but I can see right where they are. Okay, I've missed my step. Hold on just a minute. Let me unglue this just a second. Let me show you what I did before I did that. I added a layer of this gorgeous trim, and its number is 577025. And I know I didn't give y'all the number to this paper, but Robbie, you'll have the paper pad number, and it's also over on Facebook. So what I did to get my ribbon, get my trim, I just sort of laid it down and cut it, and then I just went ahead and measured using itself several more pieces, because I'm going to want a piece on each side of these little areas. So I've got 4 of them. I'll need a total of 8 little pieces, and I definitely could have cut this in advance, but I did not, so I'll just cut them right here. Okay, that's 4. And I'm just sort of measuring. I may have these a little longer than needed, but I can cut them off if we do. So we need 8, so just kind of, rather have it a little too long than too short. So just going to kind of snip away here. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7. We need 1 more. And you can even do like 2 layers of this if you like, or you can do a wider trim, just whatever you want to do. It's perfectly okay. So what I did is just added a little more glue just to the edges, just closer to the edges, I guess I should say, and then added my trim on each side. It's going to get really sticky. Added my trim on each side, and then just lay it down. Originally I allowed this to dry. If you do have a little hanging over, you can snip it away, or you can just tuck it under like I just did. But you see, that gives just a little bit more oomph a little more kick, just to have a little bit of that trim, and Prima has gone to the trouble to make such beautiful trim, we might as well use it. It's gorgeous, and you get so much on these rolls. You get 20 yards on these rolls for like $10. It is very, very good value as well. I'm just tucking that down in there. Okay, and you can kind of see that's where we're at. I'm not loving exactly how I put it. So let me play with it a little more. Okay, there we have that side. Then we want to move on. That's our back side. We want to move on and ink the edges. Y'all, this is something I totally could have done in advance. I didn't even think about it. Did not even think about it. So let's add our glue. I'm crazy for Fabri-Tac, but it can get so sticky and so messy. But it holds forever. You put it on there, you are done forever. You are good to go. So that's the good thing about it. This is a little better. I don't have quite as much glue since I didn't make the mistake on this one. I did it in the order I was supposed to. So, and you can see I got a little excess off the edges. I'm just going to snip that off. Okay. I hope they're having a wonderful time at Art Venture. I know they are. It would be amazing to get to attend an Art Venture. I would love to have left early enough to have been there, but I can't be gone from home that long. My baby is doing so much better, but he requires me here with him. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the glue, but at the same time, I'm going to, just like on the back, I'm going to kind of eyeball here where my holes are going to be. And I can see it by just kind of peeking under there as I lay it down. I can just sort of make a little hole so you can see. Just make it easy peasy to put that hardware back on. But my baby is doing so much better. He's still very old, but he's on medication and that kind of stuff. So I know everybody inquired when he had his little problem on camera, but he does so much better now. Okay, got that piece on there. So we're finished with the bottom of our box as far as the papers go. So we're going to move on to the top. The only addition we have on the top is another, well, I've lost one of my, I seem to have misplaced one of my little pieces here. That's okay though, we can cut another one really quick. Again, we're just going to add some glue just to the edges. And did you notice to the back side, did I say that to y'all? You're going to actually glue it to the back side so that it's just kind of peeking onto the front. Kind of till I'm gluing to this solid color side. So, and if you glue it to the front, that's no biggie either. I kind of like to conceal that little edge. If you like that edge, just glue it to the front, and it'll look just as pretty. It is a finished edge, so Prima was good to make it a nice clean edge. And we're just going to do a beaded glue right down here. And again, we've got some little screw holes here to mark, so I'm just going to kind of lay that there. And even though it has a little glue, it'll forgive us for just a minute while we mark. Just really quick where our screw holes go, so you can see that's done. And I need one more, which is crazy because I was positive that I had them all cut. Obviously. Oh, yes, I do. Here it is. Here it is. Well, maybe it's not exactly it, so we're going to cut this one down. I actually don't know what happened to it. I'm just going to kind of mark right here. y'all see how I'm doing. This is how I do when I'm by myself. I'm not one to measure. I just sort of eyeball it and cut. I do try to be neat on y'all's behalf because I don't want you to see how I actually will just kind of sloppily put it together, but it turns out pretty in the end, and all the distressing and all the ink, and there's tons of things you can hide with ink, so it all works. A little glue, and this might be a little bit bigger than the other two, a little bit wider, and I don't mind that. It just will add a little bit of extra to our front cover here, or to our little front closure, I should say, because it'll be right where the closure is. And we're going to embellish it with some really pretty metal and flowers and all that fun stuff. So, trying to move along here. Check the time. We got about 1:31 my time, 1:32 my time. So I don't know what time it is where y'all are. It's just like 1:30 Central Time. So okay, we're going to lay this piece down, and again, want to kind of eyeball where this is the front, so we want to know where our front closures go. So I'm missing these. Make sure we get those. Add a little glue. And that is it for covering our box. That will finish it right up so you can see. And I'm not going to pain y'all with adding the hardware back. That takes a few minutes with these little tiny screws. But when the box is done, after I have it embellished and all that, I'll go back in and add my closures back to it. By having the marks there, I know about where I can embellish it, so it'll all be good. Okay. In fact, what I'm going to do so that I don't make a mistake, I'm going to remove this bottom trim here, and I'll add that back later. I don't want that to be in the way of my closure, so I'm just going to move that until I know where that goes. So, and I can always add that back in. Okay, so you can see there's the front of our box. Can you see? Oh, this light is terrible. There's the front of our box. So just want to start embellishing. So the first thing I want to do, and I'll let you know, I had to change flowers because I did this project with my CHA box, and I only got one of each embellishment. So I only got one flower. So I'm going to show you this flower. And Robbie, I have that number listed for the flower that I used. It is right here. It's a vine, kind of. It's this little, it's actually white. I have colored it with bloom spray with the tea stain. It's a canvas flower with a really pretty gold center, and it has canvas, or I should say burlap leaves. And it has a little vine on it, a little hard vine that I actually hung this little trinket from. So I'm going to make provision for that by using a different flower. So that's just one thing that I wanted to let you know before we got started on the flower. So I want to go ahead. I'm going to use flower number 578213. That's 578213. I'm going to grab this flower right here, and it's a canvas flower, and it's got leaves that have a little printing on them. Can you see? Can you see it? Oh, this light. Okay, maybe that's better. Can you see it? I'm just going to spray a little bloom spray on it. Also, to get my vine, I'm going to use a piece of 578268, and this is just one of the vines from last CHA that has the printing on it, and I've used these on several projects. These are my favorite vines. Love these leaves. So we're going to use that right there, just one of the flowers and the vine. to make up for not having the brand new released flour. Okay, so just want to grab my box so that I can do a little spraying. And you know we have brand new bloom sprays coming, one for each line. So I am going to use just a little bit of the deep teal that goes with this collection. It actually goes with the Memories collection. So the number, if I can find it, is 580322. It's a gorgeous teal color. And also I'm going to use 573836, the tea stain. Tea stain is for everything. So what I'm going to do, I don't want all of this vine. What I'm going to do on this vine is I'm just going to cut the bottom, kind of the bottom section here. I want one little set of the leaves and just the bottom. That's all I want from this. That's all I'm going to use. I'm going to save the rest of this for another project. So I don't want to color it, just in case. So I just want to kind of lay these down like so. And I'm going to tilt it up a little bit. The last time I sprayed my computer wasn't pretty. So just want to give it a little color. The flour that I used was a white color. This one's already kind of a creamy color. So it's already a little better color for the project. I don't have to have nearly as much. And then what I did is with the dark teal, I just wanted a hint of this teal color. So I don't want a big spray. I just want to do like a half of a, I want to practice here. I just want to do half of a little thing just to get a few drifts. Don't want a lot, just a little. And that is, then I'm just going to kind of dab with my wipe here, just a little. You can see, I just want a little. And then to kind of tone that even down more, I'm going to go back with a little more tea stain on top of that and just tone it down just a little. I just wanted just a splatter of that color on there, as you can see. Okay, so I'm going to lay these to the side and let them dry up. I missed a petal here. Let me get a little bit more in there and on there. Just sort of raise your petals up and be sure to get your bloom spray all inside there. Okay. Wipe my fingers with my little baby wipes here. Okay, and I'm going to lay these just to the side and let them dry for just a minute because we're going to do another step with some masking on our actual box. So we'll lay that to the side. Going to go back to our box, and another reason it's still in two pieces, another good reason it's in two pieces, it's going to make your masking a lot easier to have it in two pieces. So I've used brand new stencil from Finnabair, number 961268. This one is called, okay, that is the wrong number. Robbie, you may have the right number. That is not the right number to this. That is for another stencil. So I don't actually have the packaging for this. Robbie, you may have the number for this stencil. If it's not on the list on Facebook, I'll add it when I go off air. But this is a brand new stencil that Finnabair just made especially for this CHA. It will be showcased there in just a couple of days. So I just kind of laid this down and just ran. I didn't want a lot of stenciling, just a little. So I just sort of held it down in a couple of areas and just added, not a lot, just a little bit in a few areas. A little on that side, then I moved it over, added a little on this side. Just wanted some texture from this, not looking to cover or have a huge impact. Just the addition of it gives us just enough texture, just enough to make me happy. A lot makes me want to rinse it, but a little makes me happy. So if you get any peaks or anything left in that, just sort of wipe it away. I'm going to dry that for just a second before I move around. Sorry about the dryer noise. I'm going to dry it for just a second. Doesn't take a long time to dry this. And if you happen to get a little bit on your sides where your painting is, this dries pretty clear, and again, it'll just give you a little texture there as well, so it doesn't really bother me. Just want to kind of move around. And you can see I'm using the actual modeling paste, Prima's modeling paste that they had from last CHA. All the great mixed media things they came out with. Just adding a little, not a lot. So I'm going to let that side dry just a little bit. I'm going to move on to the bottom portion of the box. See, I'm doing this really quickly. And that's kind of exactly what you want to do. You can kind of push it down in there to get a little bit on your other level there. And you can see, can you see? I don't know if you can see or not. I can't see it on there. But anyway, it's just a little bit. Go to your sides here. And I'm kind of, you can tell I'm just haphazardly doing this. I'm kind of doing it in midair. But that's how not careful you need to be. Not a big deal. Just sort of move it around and add some just for texture. I'm doing it really, really quickly. Add it to the sides here. And I don't want to cover the entire stencil. I just want to kind of hit and miss a few spots that you can see. Just be sure you get it all the way around. Just a little. We want to go back to our top portion. It's a little bit harder because of the round top. You can't lay it down as easily. So it's working out pretty good, just midair here. No more than I'm actually adding, so just whatever works for you. Okay, you can see, there it is. We've got it pretty covered. I think we got it all. Lay your stencil in a safe place so that it's not going to stick to anything else. And that will be all we need of this modeling paste. Just kind of clean off my spatula. Okay. Then I want to dry it just for a minute. Mainly the top, because I'm going to be working with the top as far as adding the embellishments. So just a second to dry it. I am so excited for the next couple of days to pass. I've had so much to do to get ready to leave for CHA, but I will be so glad to be there and get to see everybody. And I'll be, if you're going, I'll actually be doing make and take in the booth on Saturday from 3 to 4:30 and on Sunday from 3 to 4:30. I will actually be getting to play in the Prima booth, so that'll be fun. Get to see everybody and interact with all of you that get to come. I'm very excited. I get excited every time. You would think each time it's my first time. But keep on moving along here. I'm going to dry the bottom of the box just a little. Doesn't have to be completely dry. I am going to go back in with a stamp. I'll show you a brand new Assemblage stamp as well. Lots of brand new things to show you. Robbie, I am hoping I don't go over. I feel like I'm moving along like a snail, even as prepared as I was. I feel like it's going very slow. Okay, now we have a brand new Assemblage stamp set that I want to show you. Anna has outdone herself this time with her stamps. This is number 962036. And this is the stamp. Isn't it cool? Look at that. Kind of looks like Anna. Really, really cool. There's also a few word pieces that I've actually removed. This says Trust the Magic. This says Embrace Possibilities. That says Move Me. I'm going to use this little script heart And I'm going to use this awesome circle. Love it. Isn't it cool? It's so, so textury. Okay, so I want to grab my ink that I dropped in the floor 5 minutes ago. Okay, we'll grab our ink. I just want to kind of ink up. In fact, this ink is not juicy enough. I need to get a little bit juicier ink. I'm not even going to put this on a stamp block. I'm just going to kind of stamp it randomly in a few places anyway. On the side of the box, I just want to do like part of a circle just on one side. Not going to be big enough to do all the circle. Kind of missed a little spot there. And if you do miss a little spot, since we're just randomly doing it, just stick it back down. I just want just a little hint of color you can kind of see. Turn it to the other side, and then where we didn't use our ink, just kind of touch it there. And I just want a little bit. I don't want a lot. You can kind of see. I don't want a lot. So let's ink it back up again. And then a little bit on the side of our little dome area there. A little bit more over here. You can see I'm just randomly adding a little bit of color. And just a little bit right there. Just kind of no rhyme, no reason why, just because. Because we can. Then I want to use this little heart. I love this little heart. I just had to figure out where to use this little heart. And the album I did, of course, was my son's wedding, so the heart was just cute on there as well. So kind of on the front of the box here, I just want to do a little piece of the heart. Just, you kind of see that? Can you see that? Just a little piece of the heart right there. And I want to ink it back up, and I'm not using a stamp block or anything with it. Then kind of about here, I want another little heart. Kind of see there. And I may go back, even off camera. I had a little piece back here. Even off camera, I may go back once I have it embellished, and you can always add a few more where you might be missing something or feel like you need some color. You can go back in and add another little stamp. But you can see I just kind of got two there. I'm going to have my flower cluster there, so it's not going to show a lot, but it will show a little. Just on the side of our little box here, add a little heart. You can see. Like adding just pieces of it, like it's sort of coming in from the outside of the paper. Almost as if it was printed on the paper. You can see just a little piece of one right there. Just no big deal. Whatever ink you've got left, add some more. Okay. Then I want to go in with these little words. I am going to use the stamp block for this because I want them a little straighter. So kind of place these straight on the ink block. Go to the top on the ink block. And just wanted a few random little words in some areas. Just right about there. You can see that's kind of on the front. You can overlap these with what you've done on the back, but won't add a lot of these right now. I'll go back in, probably even off camera once I have everything done, and add a few more, just where I think I need a little color. So that sort of gives you the gist of the stamping that we've done, and it gives you a peek to it. Ben Bear's new stamps, lots of new stamps from Ben this time. So really, really pretty stuff. I'm going to use my wipe really quick and get some of this ink off of me so I'm not transferring it to my project in areas that I don't want it. I'm just going to clean my fingers up before I start handling the flowers. Okay. So you can see there you have that. Okay, what I want to do really quick before we move on to the floral top, I want to show you really quick how I created the inside album. It's really fast, so I do want to cover that first. And so you'll know, you can see on the inside, I have a little lip here that you can actually lift from to pull the accordion out. And as you pull it out, it's just a total accordion album. and it's glued, the last page is glued to the bottom there, so it's not going to come out of the box at all. So you'll want to be sure to glue down your last page. So to create this little cover here, or to create the entire album, I guess I should show you first. What I've done is measured the width of my box. The width of my box was about 4.5 inches, so I knocked off about a half an inch off of that. So this measures about 4 inches wide. And then I took a scoreboard. Once I had my 4-inch wide strip, I took my scoreboard and I laid it down. It was a 12-inch wide piece of paper. Laid it down and I scored it every 4 inches because it's also 4 inches in this direction wide. So you want to be sure that it goes in and out of your box with no problems. So once you have your actual scores there, then it's pliable and you can bend it in either direction that you need to. So I've got 12 inches. It's actually about 4¼ inches wide, I believe. It's a little bit wider than 4 inches. But I have scored it every 4 inches, which gives me 3 pages per sheet. And it's according to your box as to how you will do that. So, and I've just cut several pages here. All of these are scored. All of these are ready. And I'm just going to show you how to create your album. You can see all these are scored. This is really simple. You've got 3 of these here. Lay everything up, face up. Grab your glue. What you're going to do is on your first page here, just this last little scored area, this entire 4-inch little piece here, you are going to overlap. And the reason I'm overlapping the entire thing is because I don't want to see a seam. I don't want to see where it breaks. It looks like you're going to lose a page, but I don't want to see a seam there. So I want it to seamlessly fold. So there's 2 together. You see that's already getting longer. On your last page here, grab your glue. On the entire little section here, add your glue. And then come right back with another line of these and add that right there. And you can see, once you've added that, give it a minute to dry. You don't want it to slide off and get wonky. But as soon as it's together, you've got your accordion fold. And you can add as many pages as you need to fill up your box, or as many pages as you need to cover your event. And they'll be perfectly squared here and ready to go. And a total bifold, like an accordion. And the back side, you can even do them solid. The back side is all solid. What you want to do is add some glue here, glue that to the bottom of your box so that when you pull it pulls out like this once you've added all the pages that you want. To your top section here, what I've done is I've cut a 2-inch strip. I cut the 2-inch strip, I've inked my edges, and I scored it at about 3/4 of an inch. I actually made a score so that I've got about 3/4 of an inch here and about 1.25 inches here. I added a little piece of trim, as you can see. I did to this one, I added a little piece of trim, so I can go back and do that. For time's sake, I'm just going to kind of show you how I did it. What I did, lay it all down, and what you'll want is you'll want your top piece to be the colored piece, like this. You'll want your top here. You won't want the color showing. You'll want the top piece like this. What you're going to do is fold your score line there, add some glue to the 3/4 inch side, to the little short side, and line it up just on the edge of your album here, and that gives you that little lip. You can see that fold right there. That gives you that, and that's how you're going to pull that from your album. Okay? Does that make sense? All I've done is added a piece of lace trim there. I added the year that they married, which was 2012. You can put any title or anything you want to there. And I added one of the new metal trinkets, tied a little piece of wax cord with their last name, letter B, there. And I just popped it up with a little piece of cardboard and glued it right down. And that is our little accordion album. So you can see how that's done. And you see, simple, 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 and it holds a bazillion photos. So we'll lay that to the side, and now we will move right on with our embellishing the top. I always make such a mess all around me when I'm doing these shows because I start hurrying and trying to get done. So what I'm going to do is add our box back. I'm going to keep the example close by so I can kind of see what I did. Let's clean off my space here. Give me plenty of room so I don't start throwing things on the floor. Grab our flowers that we sprayed. See how I just knock everything off in the floor? Okay, we're going to give do a little bit of a dry time to our flowers, just really quick. Okay, Robbie, I'm going to be 10 minutes. Sorry people, everybody, I'm going over just a hair. But give it a quick dry. This is the fast part here, just embellishing our top. We're just going to give that a quick dry. Okay, the next thing I want to do is get our little trinket ready. I'm going to use number 579845. I'm so sorry, guys, that I am going over. Not going to use one of the letters this time. I'm going to use some of the brand new micro beads. I'm going to use micro beads in Splash and micro beads in Bronze for this. So I'm going to grab my soft matte gel, and we use it as a glue. And what we're going to do, let me grab, what can I grab for this to drop into? I'm actually just going to lay down a little, I'll just lay down a little wet. Since this is kind of wet, it'll catch these beads, and I can get later and add them back to my little container. I don't want to waste these. I love these. So right in the center of I don't want to go outside because I don't want these sticking everywhere. I want them right in this little center section, and I want a good bit of matte gel right in that little center section, in the little oval opening, like where the letter would go, is right where. If you get it outside there, just sort of wipe it away with your finger, and you can always kind of wipe these away later. But I'm going to start with the splash, and just sprinkle the splash on there. And just kind of dump that back into the bowl, or back into its little container. But I want to get that nice, and I'm going to dry this just for a second because I really want this blue to show up. Be careful with the drying this too, because this metal is going to get hot. The metal is going to get really hot. So I'm going to dry that real quick. Then I want to go back in and add another little layer. Just, can y'all see on this, if I got you on camera, add a little more. I want it kind of thick up toward the right hand top, because that's going to be mostly where it shows. So add a few more of the beads. These micro beads are absolutely beautiful in color. I don't know if you can see that really teal blue color. Okay, next I want to add just to this bottom left hand corner a little bit more. I'm adding this soft matte gel kind of thick because I want those beads to really be grabbed and held onto. So then I'm going to take the bronze color, and I'm going to add a few of them just there on the left hand side. And you're kind of going to get outside, and I'm just going to take my fingernail and fix that. But you can see I've got the blue and the bronze, and it just looks really, really pretty against this box and with the metal. And then as you maybe see vacant spots or whatever, you can add a few more if you need to. But you can see that's that. That is how I did that is how I did that. So we can put our beads away. And I'm just going to kind of wrap this up. When this dries good, I can retrieve those beads. And be sure I'm putting the right top on the right color, although I can tell the difference between splash and bronze. Just want to keep those accurate. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add our trinket to the end of our little vine here. So I'm going to cut some of this away. Just going to cut a little bit of that away. And then this is very, very bendy, very bendable, very, very much easy to shape. Just kind of want to shape that back kind of in a circle down there, possibly. Or maybe with this one I'm just going to kind of wind it up. Maybe I'll just kind of wind it up and twist it up in here. Most of that will be covered. It's going to hang from our front here. So what we're going to do is just kind of bend this wire, and I'm actually going to have it hang right about there. So I'm going to add some glue. Again, Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac is, make sure you've got your front section. That is the front. Just making sure I've got both my front pieces here. Yes, and I do. Both the front. I can tell by the little holes I poked that that's the front because I don't have my hardware there yet. Add some glue just straight down this side right here, all the way down. And it's going to hold this in position perfectly. And that wire is just going to be very pliable for you. It'll bend and you can change its position if you need to, but you can kind of see how that's just kind of hanging. If you do lose a few of your beads handling it too soon like I'm doing right now, before it dries you may lose a few. You can always just add a little more soft matte gel and add it right back. Okay, we're going to keep that right about there. Now I'm going to move our leaves kind of out to the side here because I want those to show a little. The next thing we're going to add is our flower. Add that flower right about there. And then we're just going to go in with a few more flowers and some metal pieces and make our cluster. This is number 580872, and I'm just going to grab a few. Because of the colors that I've used, and you're using this collection, everything matches, so I'm not really worried about grabbing the wrong one. I do want to move this teal color around a little bit, so I do have it, sprayed on the flower some, so just kind of be sure that you are going to see some of the teal color. And you can do that with the flowers. You could go back if you needed to with a little bit more spray or whatever you need to do. I never do two arrangements exactly the same. On the show I try to. It just always seems to work out just a little bit different each time. So, and that works for me. Perfectly okay with me that happens. I'm just going to grab a few to add to the back here because I want to get to Frank's beads. His painted pearl glass beads, they are absolutely one of my favorite things I think that Prima has done. I really do like the addition of those. I'm going to grab some of these small ones. That was flower number 580865. This is number 580834. I just want to grab a few of these little colors to kind of mix in. And I want the arrangement to kind of cascade all the way across the top. All the way across the top and down. Just kind of down that side. Just add adding a few more. I want to cover up our little vine there that's holding our trinket. I want to kind of use the flowers to disguise that. You can kind of see I'm totally disguising that entire little vine section except where it's hanging from. And just be sure if you've used like one of these copper color flowers at the front that you grab one and you kind of use it in your back section here. We've got leaves here. If you want to use leaves, it'd be perfect. What I want to do now is go in with some metal. And I want to go in with some of Frank's beads. Where are your beads, Frank? Okay, these beads are absolutely beautiful. They're from the Memory Hardware collection. This is number 990398. And they are beautiful. Look at them. They are beautiful. Just want to grab a few of those and place in the lid here. I'm going to grab this metal right here. This is number 579821. I'm going to grab probably the leaves here just to kind of add in. I'm going to grab this leaf here. These are pretty bendable. Just like the idea of the extra texture, just adding some glue kind of to that back section there. Just want to tuck that in right about there. I want to grab this leaf here. And let's tuck it in. Tuck it in right about there. Just kind of want some metal along with these little pearl shapes. And you can see this is kind of a little gold one. And you're just going to put a little bit of glue. And again, it's the Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac is the miracle glue. I want to just add a few. And you see I'm adding it right on top. It's hard to hold with the fixtures not on. Right on top of the flowers. I'm just kind of adding it there. And there's, I believe, 3 colors or maybe 4 colors in here. But I'm just kind of mixing the colors up. And you can see I'm just going to add them just so they peek in. I'm tucking them kind of in. I want them to kind of peek out from under the flowers, from under the layers. Give it just a second to set. But you can see there's some tiny ones as well. I do want to just kind of tuck these in all around. One right about there. And I didn't use many on here. This jar is going to go a long way because I didn't use very many, and they make such an impact to me on the design. They just added so much. When I started gluing them down, I was so excited at how pretty and how much interest they added. And it helps that the centers of some of these flowers have the little gold balls in them, because it just adds to that metal feel. And all for you. But that is it. That is our project. That is everything that we did to create this box. I'll need to go back in and reattach my hardware, but you can see that is pretty much our box there. Just a few different embellishments. Then that proves you don't have to have exactly what I have to sort of mimic the same thing that I've done. One more thing that I did do right on the very front, when you re-add your hardware, you can go back and add a piece of metal above your actual lock system there, so that you give a little bit more interest to that little lock if it doesn't have a lot of interest to it. But other than that, that is our project. I'm going to go ahead and pan up. And, oh, sorry, my camera came apart. Let me pan up, and I'm going to have to hold my camera, sorry. This has been kind of a quick into this show, but and my lighting is terrible now that it's back up on me. So anyway, y'all please join Adrienne on Thursday night. I will be in California by then, so maybe I'll get to tune in. I don't know that I'll have time, or if I can even find a computer to get on, but if not, I'll see y'all, I'm sure, next week when I return. So y'all have a great day, and thanks so much for joining me. Robbie, thank you so much for your help. I'm totally losing my camera. Anyway, okay, I'm signing off, y'all. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.